Michael Jackson's later stage performances reflected an artist who had already transformed popular music many times and was now exploring a different kind of creative expression. Rather than trying to repeat the energy of his younger years in exactly the same way, he gradually reshaped the concert experience into something broader and more cinematic. His performances became carefully constructed journeys that combined music, dance, storytelling, visual design, and emotional atmosphere into a unified whole. Even as the physical demands of performing changed with age, his commitment to artistic detail remained remarkably strong. By the time he entered his 40s, Michael Jackson had already spent decades performing in front of audiences around the world. From his earliest appearances as a child with the Jackson 5 to his record-breaking solo tours, he had experienced nearly every scale of live entertainment imaginable. Few performers had placed such extraordinary physical demands on themselves for such a long period of time. Years of touring required endless travel, constant rehearsals, and performances that combined precise choreography with live singing. Naturally, time began to influence the way he approached the stage. Instead of seeing these changes as limitations, he appeared to treat them as opportunities to refine his artistic vision. His later performances placed greater emphasis on visual storytelling and emotional expression. Every movement seemed connected to the larger narrative unfolding across the stage. Lighting, costumes, stage design, projected imagery, and carefully timed musical transitions all worked together to create an immersive experience that felt closer to a theatrical production than a traditional concert. This shift did not mean that music became less important. If anything, the songs remained at the center of everything. Familiar classics such as Billie Jean, Smooth Criminal, Beat It, Black or White, and Earth's Song continued to serve as emotional anchors for audiences. Yet each performance often revealed subtle differences in interpretation. Rather than recreating earlier versions exactly, Michael frequently adjusted phrasing, tempo, vocal texture, and dramatic emphasis to match the moment. One of the most noticeable developments during his later years was the evolution of his singing voice. Every singer experiences changes over time, and Michael Jackson was no exception. The youthful brightness that defined many of his recordings naturally matured into a fuller sound. His lower register gained warmth and weight, while his phrasing became more relaxed and expressive in certain songs. Instead of relying only on the high, energetic style that audiences remembered from the 1980s, he increasingly explored deeper tones that added richness to familiar melodies. Special appearances offered listeners opportunities to hear these changes more clearly. Without the pressure of presenting a full-scale world tour every year, individual performances often highlighted different aspects of his musicianship. Sometimes his vocals carried a softer, more reflective quality. At other moments, they displayed surprising depth and resonance. Listeners could hear not only technical skill but also decades of accumulated experience shaping every phrase. His understanding of rhythm also continued to evolve. Throughout his career, rhythm had always been central to his artistry. Whether singing, dancing, or simply walking across a stage, he possessed an exceptional sense of timing. In later performances, that rhythmic awareness became even more deliberate. Small pauses, carefully controlled breathing, and subtle changes in pacing allowed familiar songs to feel fresh without altering their essential character. Dance remained an important part of his identity, although its role gradually changed. During earlier tours, audiences often saw long sequences of physically demanding choreography performed at remarkable intensity. As he grew older, dance became more selective and more strategic. Iconic movements retained their impact because they were placed thoughtfully within each performance rather than presented continuously. A single perfectly timed spin, a controlled lean, or the famous moonwalk still generated powerful audience reactions precisely because these moments were integrated into larger dramatic scenes. This balance between movement and stillness became one of the defining characteristics of his mature performances. Michael understood that presence on stage was not created only through constant motion. Sometimes standing completely still while singing a meaningful lyric communicated more than an extended dance sequence. Silence, lighting, posture, and facial expression became artistic tools equal to choreography itself. Another defining feature of his later stage work was the increasing sophistication of visual production. Concert technology advanced rapidly during the late 1990s and early 2000s, and Michael Jackson remained deeply interested in exploring these possibilities. Large video screens, advanced lighting systems, elaborate stage mechanics, and cinematic transitions allowed performances to unfold like interconnected scenes in a film. Rather than presenting one song after another in isolation, the overall experience often developed with a carefully planned emotional flow. High-energy numbers led naturally into quieter moments of reflection before building again toward powerful finales. This structure encouraged audiences to experience the concert as a complete narrative rather than simply a collection of individual hits. Environmental themes, humanitarian concerns, and messages about unity continued to occupy an important place within his performances. Songs like Earth Song demonstrated how music could extend beyond entertainment into broader reflection about humanity's relationship with nature and with one another. During these performances, dramatic visuals supported rather than overshadowed the music. Images of landscapes, people, and changing environments reinforced the emotional meaning already present in the lyrics. His interest in filmmaking also influenced the way he approached live performance. Michael Jackson had long blurred the boundaries between music videos and short films. Productions such as Thriller, Bad, Remember the Time, and Ghosts showed his fascination with cinematic storytelling. In later concerts, these interests merged even more closely with the live experience. Stage entrances, costume changes, projected imagery, and dramatic pacing often reflected techniques commonly found in cinema. Costume design remained another essential part of his artistic language. His clothing was never simply decorative. Every jacket, glove, military-inspired design, or tailored silhouette contributed to the visual identity of a particular performance. In his later years, these costumes continued to evolve